Beach is a great way to start. Visit thebreakers.com today.
Anajar and Levine.
Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
ESPN 1063.
WESP Jupiter, a Good Karma Brands radio station. We interrupt our regularly scheduled program for this special presentation of Inter Miami Soccer on ESPN 1063.
Gol de Messi!
The pink smoke is in the air. Inter Miami Soccer is on ESPN 1063.
Messi in the box. Shoots!
This is the Inter Miami pregame show, live from the ESPN West Palm studios. Here's Mike Rizzo.
BMO Field, as Inter Miami will try to bounce back from that heartbreaking loss last Saturday at New Stadium. But welcome on in, folks, to your Inter Miami radio network. I am the voice of the Inter Miami Herons, Mike Rizzo, and like I said, we're at BMO Field in Toronto, in Canada, our neighbors up north, as Inter Miami looks to bounce back from that loss they suffered at home against Orlando. And once again, we got to go over it one time, all right? This is why I say we're going to go over it one time, and then we're never going to talk about it again. But Inter Miami was up 3-0 against Orlando at home at Newbank Stadium, and they became just the third team in MLS history to end up losing after being up 3-0. But good news is we have a great opportunity today in Canada. Now, I want to get you your starting lineups brought to you by your local South Florida Audi dealer. Folks, we all know the feeling. A change of plans, an unexpected curve, and a new opportunity. Instead of overthinking, what if you just said yes? With the all-new Audi Q3, the answer is easy, because the Q3 is made for the S-Life with the power and room to handle whatever pops up. Say yes to adventure, escape, and right now. It's the all-new Audi Q3 made for the S-Life. You can learn more at AudiUSA.com. Folks, Audi is the official premium and electric car partner of IMCF. But once again, your starting lineups brought to you by Audi. We'll start with Inter Miami, a 4-3-3 for interim gaffer Guillermo Hoyos today on his sheet. From left to right, the defense, Facundo Mora, Gonzalo Luan, Mikael and Noah Allen. Dane St. Clair will be the goalkeeper. Your three midfielders, Rodrigo DePaul, Yannick Bright, and Talasco Segovia. And the three attackers up top, Lionel Messi, Luis Suarez at the striker position, and Herman Berterame. So that's the 4-3-3 for our Inter Miami Herons. As far as Toronto, from left to right, they got 5 in the back. They're going to try to stonewall our Herons with a 5-3-2. From left to right, Raheem Edwards, Zane Manlui, Walker Zimmerman, Kobe Franklin, and Malik Henry. In the midfield, Marcus Simermanchik, Jonathan Osorio, and Alonso Coelho. And then the two strikers up top in a dual strike partnership, Daniel Saloy and DeAndre Kerr. So a 5-3-2 for Toronto in this one. Let's take our first time out of the pregame show. When we return, we'll get the ball rolling. This is your Inter Miami Radio Network.
If you want to learn how to fan the football way, ask the fans with a Modelo. Only they know how to celebrate with strangers as if they were lifelong friends. To lose their voice for weeks after chanting for 90 minutes. They are always ready to teach you the ways of football, because to them, passion is meant to be shared. So go ahead, ask the fans with a Modelo.
For 40 years, Lytle, Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fraunrath has stood up for clients in South Florida communities. If you've been injured, their experienced attorneys across South Florida are ready to fight for your rights. They've recovered billions for their clients. There's no cost for a case evaluation and no fee unless they win. Visit foryourrights.com. That's foryourrights.com. Lytle, Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fraunrath. Proud supporters of Inter Miami FC on ESPN South Florida. Main office in Palm Beach Gardens.
Overheard at the Hard Rock Bet Party.
Hey, Michael Irvin, another promo just dropped on Hard Rock Bet. I got a profit boost this morning. Whoa, and a huge bonus bet just hit my account. Is the app on fire like this every week?
Only on days that end in Y. Like today, yesterday, all day, every day.
Download the Hard Rock Bet app and start playing today. Hard Rock Bet. Roll with us.
Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about your gambling? Call or text 1-833-PLAY-WISE.
Picture this, a curve in the road, a change in plans, Well, what do you say? With the all-new Audi Q3, the answer's always yes. Yes to adventure. Yes to escape. Yes to performance. Yes to comfort. Yes to right now. Because saying yes without hesitation, that's real luxury. The all-new Audi Q3, made for the yes life.
Hi, this is Evan Cohen. Listen to me in the morning, 6 to 10 a.m. on Unsportsmanlike. I wrote down two guys that slept, Ruben Bain Jr. and Mekhi Lemon. I think the sky's the limit for Ruben Bain at 15 with Tampa. I went on with ESPN West Palm. Mike Rizzo, who's a big Ohio State fan, he goes, I'm a huge Ohio State fan. Because Ruben Bain beat my team by himself. I'm still frustrated by that. No one's thinking about Ohio State. No one cares.
He's a phenomenal player, and he's going to fit right into the culture of that locker room.
Right here on ESPN 106.3.
This is the story of the one. As a procurement manager for a hospital system, she keeps every facility in her network stocked and ready. That's why she counts on Grainger to be her single source for thousands of products, from disinfectants to lighting, air filters, and more. And with fast, dependable delivery, Grainger helps her keep every facility stocked, safe, and running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, U.S. Tax Shield can help you take back control. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Our team of tax attorneys can stop collections and get you protected. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the BBB, so call 800-466-9625. U.S. Tax Shield, 800-466-9625.
The pink smoke is in the air. Inter Miami Soccer is on ESPN 106.3. Now, let's get to the pitch. Here's Mike Rizzo.
Welcome on back, folks. Your Inter Miami pregame show on your Inter Miami radio network. Once again, the Herons running a 4-3-3 today, while Toronto is going to try to stonewall Lionel Messi with 5 at the back, a 5-3-2. But that 4-3-3, once again for Inter Miami, Facundo Mora, Gonzalo Luan, Mikael, and Noah Allen. In the midfield, you got Rodrigo DePaul, Yannick Bright, Telasco Segovia, and then the 3 attackers up top, Lionel Messi, Luis Suarez, Herman Berterame. Suarez is going to be playing striker today. Messi playing that right wing. He's going to be cutting in with that inverted left foot. I think you could see him a little bit at false 9 as well. Inter Miami, once again, obviously was up 3-0 in the last match, but against Orlando, they lost 4-3. They kept 3 clean sheets in 13 matches this season. Toronto more of a defensive team, so we'll have to wait and see what's going to happen in this game if Inter Miami is going to be able to breach that 5 in the back. Once again, 5 in the back. That is going to be the first time our Herons have faced such tactics this season. Inter Miami has scored 11 goals in their last 5 matches, despite blowing that lead to Orlando. And Luis Suarez is averaging a goal contribution every 75 minutes since reclaiming his starting spot. Let's take quickly our final timeout. This is your Inter Miami pregame show on your Inter Miami radio network.
Picture this: a curve in the road, a change in plans. Well, what do you say? With the all-new Audi Q3, the answer's always yes. Yes to adventure. Yes to escape. Yes to performance. Yes to comfort. Yes to right now. Because saying yes without hesitation, that's real luxury. The all-new Audi Q3, made for the yes life.
If you want to learn how to fan the football way, ask the fans with a Modelo. Only they know how to celebrate with strangers, as if they were lifelong friends. To lose their voice for weeks after chanting for 90 minutes. They are always ready to teach you the ways of football, because to them, passion is meant to be shared. So go ahead, ask the fans with a Modelo.
Welcome on back, folks. We are moments away from kicking things off on our Inter Miami radio network. Once again, this is Inter Miami and Toronto at BMO Field. The head referee is going to be Victor Rivas. Victor Rivas, an experienced ref who Inter Miami has seen a couple of times over the last couple of years. But a Bluebird day in Toronto in the 60s, the low 60s, 61 degrees. This is a grass surface today, and we have a sold-out BMO Field of 36,000 fans. That's what happens when Lionel Messi comes to town. But once again, Inter Miami with that 4-3-3. Facundo Mora, Gonzalo Luan, Mikael, and Noah Allen. Rodrigo DePaul, Yannick Bright, Telasco Segovia are your midfielders. And then the three attackers, Lionel Messi, Luis Suarez, Herman Berterame. For Toronto, that five at the back, going to try to stonewall Lionel Messi and our Herons. You got Raheem Edwards, Zane Manlui, Walker Zimmerman, Kobe Franklin, Malik Henry. In the midfield, they're going with Marcus Simermanchik, Jonathan Osorio, and Alonso Coelho. And then up top, you got Daniel Saiolo and DeAndre Kerr. But five at the back. The goalkeepers today for obviously our Miami Herons, Dane St. Clair, and then Luca Gavrin. Luca Gavrin on the Toronto side. We got the flags out. They got loud and proud fans here in Toronto playing a couple of their fight songs here at BMO Field. Lionel Messi standing over the ball, waiting for that whistle, waiting for that go. Once again, 36,000 fans. We got a sold-out crowd. And we are awaiting that whistle to get things underway. But obviously our Herons, that salty taste in their mouth after losing to Orlando, being up 3-0. But Inter Miami has been able to score goals, 11 goals in their last 5 matches. Inter Miami able to score well. See if head gaffer Guillermo Hoyos can figure out a little bit of the defensive end. And we are underway. Once again, BMO Field, this is your Inter Miami radio network. Mike Rizzo on the call, and it is 61 and sunny in Toronto. Inter Miami kicks it off by getting to that far side touchline, and it is intercepted by Toronto. Toronto still doing work on that far side touchline. A scrum for the ball, and our Herons are on it. Here's Mikael. Now Noah Allen. Allen will recycle back to the defense. Gonzalo Luan. Now no Maxi Falcone in the starting 11. Falcone, who will be available off of the bench tonight, or rather today. Maxi Falcone, Sergio Reguilon, Alexander Shaw, David Ayala, Davi Ruiz, Preston Plambic, Daniel Pinter, and Matteo Silvetti are your reserves for the Herons. Near side touchline, here's Mora in Toronto territory. He plays the ball. Rodrigo DePaul now. DePaul trying to get it back to Mora, who's inching towards the box. And that's thwarted away by Toronto. We are 1 minute in. 1 minute in the first half. 0-0. Inter Miami and Toronto. On it now for Toronto. Kobe Franklin. He'll boot it forward, looking for Daniel Salio. Dane St. Clair ends up with it. A dual strike partnership between Salio and Kerr. It's again a 5 at the back setup for Toronto. Inter Miami now on it. Mikael in their own half. Maxi Falcone, usually the starting center back next to Mikael, but Gonzalo Luan getting the call today. Near side touchline, Luan makes his way, gets it to Allen, and now they'll recycle back in their own area of the pitch. Here's Mikael. He'll turn and get it to Yannick Bright. Bright right outside of the midfield circle, gets it to Luan. Luan cutting in, gets a nifty pass to Suarez. Suarez tried one time and it to nobody. He was looking for Mura, was not in place, but now Toronto intercepts it and they immediately give it back to our Herons. So a couple of sloppy 2 minutes here. Both teams feeling each other out. Inter Miami has been scoring goals at a great rate. Got to find a way to stop the leaking. And maybe interim gaffer Guillermo Hoyos thinks Gonzalo Luan getting the start could possibly change that. It is the lone difference in the starting 11 since that Orlando loss. But Falcone will be available off the bench, and I could almost guarantee you're going to see him at some point. Deep through ball, Toronto from their own box. Similar to the Colorado Rapids, how Toronto plays. They like dishing it out. Speaking of dishing it out, Lionel Messi almost got on the end of the ball It was a good through ball by Rodrigo to Paul. But back when I was saying about Toronto, they like playing out of the back and they like launching their through balls from their 5 defenders. Edwards, Manlui, Franklin, and Henry all have the potential to hit our Herons through the air. But 3 minutes have been played, 0-0, Toronto and Inter Miami. Messi almost gone on the end of a Rodrigo de Paul deep through ball. And another one, this time this is Luan looking for Bertarame, but that one's scooped up by goalkeeper Luca Gavrin. Gavrin immediately plays it to Coelho. Now here is Osorio. He's going to cut in. Now Salio. Salio through ball was looking for DeAndre Kerr on the other side. And Rodrigo de Paul goes to ground and a foul. That is head referee Victor Rivas with the first foul of the game, and DePaul's still on the ground. But Saloy and Kerr, once again, with that dual strike partnership. Saloy tried playing a nifty through ball, but it was smartly read by Facundo Mora. Or excuse me, that's Noah Allen on the other side. Now DePaul is still down. I don't think the physios are going to have to come onto the field, but he is scraping himself up. 4.5 minutes have gone by in this first half. 0-0 Toronto and Miami. Robin Frazier is the head gaffer for Toronto. And play immediately resumed. Our Herons turn it over. This is Salio near side touchline. He gets it to Osorio, who goes to ground, but our Herons end up with it. A through ball looking for Suarez. Is he going to get there on the near side touchline? He doesn't. There was a collision that happened at midfield. DePaul ended up with it. He tried playing on Suarez. Quick throw in for Toronto. This is Osorio. He goes to Alonso Coelho on the far side touchline. Coelho, deep through ball looking for Kerr. St. Clair off his lines. He boots it out of bounds. Will be a throw in. Coelho back on it. He'll throw it in. Or excuse me, this is Kobe Franklin throwing it in. Guillermo Hoyos, gaffer for Inter Miami, has gotten some good results. Now, I understand that our Herons and our supporters still have a bad taste in their mouth from that Orlando game, but Hoyos has been able to get a lot of results, especially on the road. Segovia turns it over. Toronto in a dangerous spot right outside of the box. This is Saloy. Saloy gets it back to Kerr, 2-man 2-ball. Saloy still on it, near side touchline, veering towards the box. This is Osorio. Osorio pressed by DePaul, and now our Herons win it. Here's Segovia. Can Inter Miami hit him on the counter? Bertarame right past midfield, gives it back to Segovia. Segovia midfield circle in Inter Miami territory. He'll get it to Luan. 6.5 minutes gone by, 0-0 Toronto and our Herons. DePaul on it, near side touchline, and a turnover. So possession changing. This is Toronto in Heron territory. On it now again is Osorio. So once again, the 3 midfielders, you got Simmermanchik, Osorio, and Coelho as Mikael pushes DeAndre Kerr to the ground, and we're going to have a free kick. This is going to be right between the circles. When I mean the circles, the midfield circle and the penalty arc. So could be an opportunity for Toronto in the 7th minute, as Osorio and Coelho will discuss. Dane St. Clair marking orders at his line, trying to get the defenders in position, as this could be an opportunity, as I mentioned, for Toronto. Now we have a third and actually 4 players talking over the ball. You got Edwards, Osorio, Coelho, and Simmermanchik. Osorio usually takes the free kicks for Toronto, but it looks like he's going to give his duties to Coelho. Toronto this season, 3 wins, 6 draws, 3 losses. They got 15 points on that table. They're sitting in 7th place at the moment. And they got a dangerous free kick with Coelho. So we inch towards the 8th minute. Coelho puts one on target. And he tested Dane St. Clair, but St. Clair goes to his knees, and he's able to grasp it. Lionel Messi on the ball for the first time in the game. Here is the crowd As Messi plays it to Suarez, now to Bertarame. Bertarame at the midfield circle. Now Yannick Bridle, him and Noah Allen, a little 2-man-2 ball. Bridle switches fields to Luan. Now to Mikael. And Eastern Conference table, Nashville leading the charge. Inter Miami in second. New England in third. Chicago in fourth. DC United in fifth. Cincinnati in sixth. And Toronto checking in at 7. Charlotte and New York will round out the playoff teams. And as of right now in the East, our Herons, the only team in action right now in the MLS. Obviously, it is still 0-0 as we inch closer to the 9th minute. 0-0 Toronto and Miami. We got a free kick on the near side touchline. Osorio on it. And he actually is the one who kicked it out of bounds. Rodrigo de Paul and Lionel Messi closed him down quick. Osorio telling head referee Rivas he doesn't like the call, but it stands. Going to be an Inter Miami throw-in. Inter Miami will recycle to their defense. Mikael will bark some orders from the defense. Here's Luan. Now 2-man-2 ball, Mikael and Luan. No shots on target. We're 9.5 minutes in. No opportunities either. As Luan gets it to DePaul. DePaul to Mora. Mora veering towards the box. Nifty pass, was looking for Messi right outside the penalty arc. But Toronto snuffed it out, but Luis Suarez winning it. Suarez looking for Messi on the back stick. And a 50-50 ball. Toronto ends up with it. And now Mikael and Kerr in a scrum. Kerr goes to ground, but our Herons able to win it. Now another turnover. Sloppy play as Inter Miami intercepts it now. And now we have a whistle. Rivas given the second foul of the game as Toronto plays it quick. Toronto with space coming towards the box is Edwards. Edwards veers in, puts a shot on. And a diving stop, I believe St. Clair touched it. I'm waiting to see what the referee's call is going to be. And I'm at your mercy, folks. This was an inverted left foot by DeAndre Kerr. Kerr missed it right, but I think they're having a conversation to see if St. Clair touched it. Once again, the head referee today is Rivas, and he actually calls for a goal kick. So in the 10th minute, our Herons have it in their own half again. And that was the first shot of the game by DeAndre Kerr. Him and Saloe have a dual strike partnership up top today with the 5-3-2. Here's Luan, near side touchline. Veering into the middle. Makes a bad pass, was looking for DePaul. And Toronto on the run, but a nifty interception by Yannick Bright. DePaul now gets it to the near side touchline, and Messi. Messi now back to DePaul. DePaul right in midfield, cuts in, and that is a turnover, a bad one. Here's Simermanchik with space. Simermanchik puts one on target, puts a shot attempting to get on target, but that one rolled left. Folks, he got that all wrong. He had Saloe cutting in from the left. I thought he was going to play him on, but he decided to take a ambitious left foot about 5 yards outside of the penalty arc, and that rolls out of bounds. But once again, the three midfielders for Toronto, Simermanchik, Osorio, and Coelho. And that time it was Simermanchik who, like I said, had an ambitious effort. I thought he was going to play on Daniel Saloe, who is behind the Inter Miami defense. Now here's Mikael and Yannick Bright. Bright will kick it back to St. Clair in his own box. Now to Luan. Luan doing his work on the near side touchline. He's looking at Mora. Mora now has it right by the byline and the near side touchline. He'll get it back to Mikael. So big switch. Mikael in the 12th minute. 0-0 Toronto and Inter Miami. Inter Miami has not put a shot on target or a shot near Luka Gavrin all game. No shots for our Herons as we are now in the 13th minute. They are dominating possession, though, 67% to 33, and an awful turnover by Mikael. Here is Kerr, puts one on target. And did Dane St. Clair get a nick of that, or did it go over the post? I actually think, folks, it was not on target. Kerr got a left foot all wrong. I wanted to be sure at the time. I thought St. Clair got a hand on it, but ultimately shot not on target and just over the bar. It's going to be another goal kick for Inter Miami. So Toronto been the one, even though they haven't won the possession battle, 33% possession for Toronto, but they have put 2 shots on target, the only 2 shots of the game so far. So a couple of bad turnovers. Mikael with a rough one. Luan with a rough one. So the Inter Miami defenders not necessarily been hitting their mark. And speaking of Facundo Mora, the right fullback, just put it out of bounds looking for Lionel Messi. It'll be a Toronto throw-in. So some sloppy football early on for our Herons. And as I say that, I welcome you to the 14th minute. 0-0 Toronto and Inter Miami, BMO Stadium, your Inter Miami radio network. Simmermanchik on that near side touchline. Now the whistle blows. Apparently, ball rolled out of bounds, and our Herons are going to have a throw-in. Facundo Mora going to throw it in on the near side touchline right outside Inter Miami's box. Toronto going to slap on a press. It's now the ball thrown in, and it goes far side touchline to Allen. Allen trying to play it forward to Suarez. Now on it is Bright. Bright looking for Bertarame, but intercepted by Toronto. It's on that far side touchline with Alonso Coelho. Now it's Osorio. Back to Coelho. Coelho goes upfield, is looking for DeAndre Kerr. Snuffed out by Inter Miami, but Toronto somehow on it. Now Messi intercepts. Suarez was looking for Messi, and Luis wants a foul as Lionel Messi was brought to the ground. It was a nifty one-time pass by Suarez looking for Messi, but he was on the ground, hence why Luis threw his hands in the air. But in the 15th minute, Toronto on it. 0-0 Toronto and Inter Miami. Here is Coelho. Our Herons still yet to put a shot on goalkeeper Luka Gavrin. No shots for our Herons as Edwards is looking for Kerr on the back stick. Instead, he'll find Malik Henry. Henry now gets it to Simmermanchik. Back to Henry. 2-man 2-ball. Henry will retreat to Coelho. As now it gets to the defense with Zane Man Louie. Now Walker Zimmerman. Here's Edwards. Edwards looking for Kerr. Kerr on it. He plays it on to Henry. Henry right outside of the Herons box. Makes a cross in. And Facundo Mora, good job of clearing it. Now it's on Lionel Messi. Messi gets it to Bright. Still trouble. Bright's got to get rid of it. Bright's still on it. He goes to the ground, and now we have a foul. Head referee Victor Rivas blows his whistle. Going to be a free kick for our Herons right outside of their own penalty arc. But welcome to the 16th minute. 0-0 Toronto and Inter Miami. And as an Inter Miami homer and a supporter myself, it pains me to say it, but Toronto has been the better team 16 minutes in. But thankfully, not a goal. Or excuse me, rather, we have not let up a goal yet, as there have been 2 chances for Toronto to do some real damage. But Dane St. Clair in defense at the final moments have been able to figure it out. Yet Kerr put a shot what looked like to be on target. I thought St. Clair got his hand on it, but it went over St. Clair's bar. So no shots technically on target outside of that attempt by Osorio. And now Inter Miami looking deep as Gavrin comes out and grabs it, but a big collision. Herman Bertarame and Luka Gavrin colliding. Gavrin still on the ground. But it was a deep through ball that came from Lionel Messi. And Bertarame was on sides. Gavrin went up to grab it. And him and Bertarame got in a big-time collision as Gavrin is still on the ground. He hit his right shoulder hard. Both teams' physios are out on the pitch. I hope Gavrin is okay, the goalkeeper for Toronto. But, folks, if I'm being honest, that right shoulder took a big hit. Now, Toronto does have 2 goalkeepers on reserve. They have former Inter Miami Heron William Yarborough from last year and Adisa de Rosario. So if Gavrin is unable to go, they do have 2 goalkeepers on the reserves on the bench tonight. But I was trying to tell you that Toronto has been the more threatening team, and as I was trying to figure out who was the lone Toronto player to put a shot on target, Lionel Messi almost hit Toronto on the counter. And Bertarame and Gavrin had a big-time collision in the Toronto box. Gavrin landing on that right shoulder, but he's getting a swig of water, splashing himself, splashing his face. I think he's going to rub some dirt on it and continue to go here in the 18th minute. So Gavrin okay. And folks, it was a collision. Gavrin went up for it. Bertarame went up for it. No foul. It was a clean play all around by both Gavrin and Bertarame. And now Gavrin will kick it out of his box. We're back in play in the 19th minute. Inter Miami ends up with it with DePaul. Now to Messi. Messi tried to do a nifty pass, but it's intercepted by Edwards, and he has space. Edwards got it all wrong on the pass, though. He was looking for DeAndre Kerr, and that's the second time Toronto did not play on Daniel Salui from that left side. So Inter Miami on the ball in their own territory with Mikael. Far side touchline, Noah Allen. Still on that touchline is Segovia. Now Suarez back to Segovia. Segovia turns it over. Toronto on it. In a dangerous spot here is Coelho. Now Simerminchik. He plays on Henry. And again, a Kerr trying to put a shot on. And now the flag is up offsides. And that's why I started. I couldn't believe that they let play continue. I thought Kerr was offsides, and he ultimately was. But Henry with a dangerous ball in. But we're going to have a free kick, or rather a goal kick, right out of the box for Dane St. Clair. Or rather, I'm at everyone's mercy. It's going to be a corner kick presented by Loyal Rider Smith, Ivy, and Farmrath. He was raising his flag for a corner. I thought it was offsides. But in the 20th minute, the first corner kick of the game presented by Loyal Rider Smith, Ivy, and Farmrath. Visit foryourrights.com. But it will be a goal kick as Kerr put a shot on target and St. Clair deflected it. Corner played in. It was a bad corner won by our Herons and DePaul. DePaul placed it to Suarez. Now here is Moura. Messi near side touchline. Messi going deep for Bertarame. Is he going to get there? Birdie gets a right foot on it, but the Toronto defense able to get it back to Luka Gavrin. So the corner was a dud, and Inter Miami almost countered and had their first shot of the game. But on it again is Toronto. Toronto looking for a deep ball to Kerr. Kerr and Mikael. It's some bully ball, and Dane St. Clair able to grasp it in that near side box for Inter Miami. But once again, I do need to apologize. I thought the flag was up for an offsides, and instead it was a corner kick. Luckily, nothing happened on the corner kick. Coelho kicked it right to DePaul. As I mentioned, Messi put a beautiful ball on Bertarame's right foot. The issue is there were 2 Toronto defenders who quickly closed down and got it to Gavrin. But folks, welcome to the 22nd minute, 0-0 Toronto and Inter Miami. Our Herons not necessarily having a great half. No shots so far. Messi goes to ground right at midfield and a foul. Head referee Victor Rivas blowing his whistle. It's going to go against Raheem Edwards. And Edwards clearly getting some flesh of Lionel Messi. Free kick taken. Yannick Bright gets it to Segovia. Now back to Bright. Right at midfield, DePaul. Now to Luan. Near side touchline. Moura tried to play it off Edwards. He won it himself. Moura with space. Going back stick. Nobody home. Ball headed away by Manlui. But DePaul on it in Toronto territory. DePaul with space. He finds Messi. Messi right outside the penalty area. Cuts in. Intercepted, but Suarez on it. Now back to Messi in the box. And I'm waiting on a signal if it's a corner or a goal kick. In the 23rd minute, Luis Suarez found Lionel Messi at the back stick. Messi cut in. He got the ball intercepted, and it ended up on Suarez's left boot. Suarez tried playing it immediately back to Leo, and I think that's going to be a goal kick, and it is a goal kick. 0-0, Toronto and Inter Miami, 23rd minute. Still waiting on that first shot for our Herons. Here's DePaul to Messi. Messi in Berterame is about a foot off sides, and the flag is up. It was good play by DePaul, found Leo, and Leo sadly played it to an offside, Herman Berterame. Quickly in play, near side touchline. This is Salui and Edwards. Intercepted, but Toronto able to get back on it. Now Salui with space. He cuts in. Salui lays it up to Coelho, and he gets a shot! And that one nearly sneaking in a left corner pocket. But Dane St. Clair, I think, would have been there if it were on target because it went out of bounds. And actually, on that, it was not Coelho, but it was someone from that right side. It was Kobe Franklin. It was one of the 5 defenders that Toronto has tonight. But Kobe Franklin, the center back today, putting a shot on target. Once again, that lineup for Toronto, Edwards, Manlui, Zimmerman, Franklin, and Henry on that back line. And then Zimmermanchik, Osorio, and Coelho in the midfield. And Salui and Kerr, the 2 strikers up top. Inter Miami quickly played it off of the free kick. They got it up in Toronto territory and then turned it over. And now Toronto gets awarded a free kick. Victor Rivas blowing his whistle for a foul. But welcome to the 25th minute. 0-0 Toronto and Inter Miami. Near side touchline, Toronto, who is being outpossessed by our Herons 69-31 as they have a bad turnover. Our Herons on it on the far side touchline. Here is Segovia right outside of the box. Suarez crosses it into Messi. Messi, ball on a string, plays it to Suarez. Suarez gets a pass in, but that one thwarted away by Toronto. Best opportunity yet for our Herons was right there as Suarez had it deep on the byline in the box of Toronto. He tried passing it back to the middle, but Toronto able to boot it away. Our Herons back on it. Right outside of the box is Suarez. Far side touchline. Suarez right by the corner kick stick as Coelho wins it from Suarez. But our Herons still pressing and closing down Toronto defenders. Here's Yannick Bright. Bright dispossessed. Big scrum for the ball. And now Mikael, who is up with the attack, is on it on the far side touchline. He gets it to DePaul. DePaul right between the penalty arc and the midfield circle will lay it up to Mora and do a big switch on the far side touchline. Mora gets it back to DePaul. Inter Miami will reset. DePaul, right outside the midfield circle, switches his fields to Mikael. Mikael now with space. He's veering towards the box. Now he'll stop and get it to Lionel Messi. Messi. Suarez, back to Messi, 2-man, 2-ball, in the box, Noah Allen, cross in, deflected, and cleared away by Manlui. Manlui cleared it away, but the Herons on it. Inter Miami dominating possession. Here's DePaul with space. DePaul tried to zoom by Coelho, and Toronto intercepts it, but our Herons back on it. So Inter Miami closing down Toronto with their deafening press. In the 27th minute, 0-0 Toronto and Inter Miami. Luis Suarez goes to ground and a free kick awarded. Edwards is the man who gets called for the foul. Victor Rivas blowing his whistle. Now, I want to say this is too far for Lionel Messi, but I've seen him make this before, so I'm assuming Leo is going to go for goal. We're right between the penalty arc and the midfield circle. Like I said, the last time I said too far for Messi, he scored a goal. Granted, it was deflected, and it was against NYCFC a couple of weeks back. But Luka Gavrin, goalkeeper for Toronto, I'm assuming is getting ready for a shot on target. Messi standing over a free kick. We're in the 28th minute. Whistle blown. This definitely going to be a Messi attempt here. He approaches, shot, and just right. Had the distance, had the power, but just a little to the right. Once again, that was between the penalty arc and the midfield circle. Messi put an honest attempt on it. Tried to go upper 90 on that right side with a left foot. But Luka Gavrin watched it skate by his left post. 28 and a half minutes, 0-0 Inter Miami and Toronto. It was the first shot, believe it or not, it was the first shot for our Herons in this game. DePaul to Segovia. Segovia was looking for Suarez, but he wasn't ready for it. Here's Osorio. Osorio gets it to Kerr. Now Salui. Salui was looking for Kerr, his striker bud, or, the dual strike partnership. Salui and Curry was looking for his buddy, but snuffed out by Yannick Bright. Here is DePaul, right at midfield. He'll get it to Luan. Luan up with the attack. Now back to DePaul. DePaul right at midfield again. Now Segovia, right outside of the midfield circle. Gets it to Suarez. Suarez on the far side touchline, trying to get it back to Segovia. A scrum for the ball, and Toronto's on it. This is Osorio, right outside of his penalty arc. Now Coelho. Coelho and Osorio, 2-man 2-ball as they walk it beyond midfield. Still on it, Osorio. Now he'll retreat to the defense in dismay. He's on it again, near side touchline. Jonathan Osorio doing a lot of the possession work for Toronto as Osorio plays on a Daniel Salui, who cuts in right outside the Inter Miami box. He lays it up to Edwards. Edwards, I think he tried to put a cross in, and that one was deflected by our Herons. The 30th minute, still 0-0, Toronto and Inter Miami, as we await if it's a corner kick or a goal kick, and I believe it is a corner kick presented by Lionel Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fromrath. Visit foryourrights.com. Folks, for 40 years, Lionel Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fromrath have been taking care of families in South Florida. foryourrights.com, Lionel Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fromrath, proud sponsors of Inter Miami Corners. But this one, a Toronto corner, as Coelho is stepping over it. 30th minute. Coelho looking for Salui on the back stick, and that one ends up going out of bounds to the other corner stick. So 2 corners in this game so far by Toronto. If I'm being honest, 2 pretty pathetic attempts. The first one was right to Rodrigo DePaul, and he almost hit Lionel Messi for a counter. And then that one where he went stick to stick, as I call it. 31st minute, Inter Miami will play it out of their defense. This is Mikael and Segovia. Mikael gets it to Yannick Bright. Now Luan. Messi, near side touchline. He gets it to Moura. Messi. Moura, 2-man 2-ball. Messi and Moura. And now Toronto slapped on a press, almost won the ball. Now it's on DePaul's foot. Here's Yannick Bright, Mikael. Right past the midfield circle. Mikael looking deep. Suarez heads it back into the box. Messi now, and I think the flag was up. Is it an offsides or a handball? It is going to be a handball. Head referee Victor Rivas calling a handball on Luis Suarez, who is inside of that Toronto box. I thought it could have been an offsides, but it turns out it was a handball. It'll be a free kick in the 32nd minute for Toronto. Still 0-0, Inter Miami and Toronto. Inter Miami with 1 shot. It's the Lionel Messi opportunity from the free kick. That is it. Toronto has 6. They got 1 on target. Inter Miami leading the way with touches in the box with 5 to Toronto's 3. But on it now is Kerr. He'll go far side touchline. Kobe Franklin, who is the lone person for Toronto to put a shot on target. One of the 5 defenders for Toronto in this fixture. Near side touchline here is Osorio. Osorio gets it to Edwards. Edwards closed down by Mora and DePaul. Ball won by the Herons. DePaul makes a defender, but sadly it's right to Osorio. Osorio outside of the box. Ball won by Bright. No, hold the phone. A scrum for it. Toronto's on it. Unbelievable. Now here is Simmermanchik. He gets it to Salui. Now Henry on the other side. Malik Henry still with it on the far side touchline. Him and Simmermanchik. Now here's Kobe Franklin. Now Franklin will centralize the ball. Right outside of the midfield circle is Osorio in Inter Miami territory. Back to Franklin. Franklin back to that far side touchline in Henry. Henry guarded by Allen. Ball roll. Cuts into the box. Cross in. Over the head of Dane St. Clair and out of bounds will be a goal kick in the 34th minute. And welcome to the 34th minute. This is your Inter Miami Radio Network. Mike Rizzo, your voice of the Herons on the call. My on-site producer, Gary Ibar. We're at BMO Field in Toronto. Inter Miami with only one shot on target, which is very uncharacteristic for our Herons, who have scored 11 goals in 5 games. Inter Miami plays in off the goal kick. Here is Gonzalo Luan. Luan in his own territory. He'll cut to the near side touchline. Now he'll retreat to Dane St. Clair. St. Clair right outside of his penalty arc. Gets it to Mikael. St. Clair to Luan. Luan now with a bad pass. Can Toronto take advantage? They can't. Mikael and DePaul now. DePaul retreating, and he turns it over. Simmermanchik on it. Now Coelho to Osorio, and Osorio got the touch wrong as Inter Miami intercepts with Mikael. DePaul back on it. DePaul with space, still running. He gets it to Segovia, far side touchline. Segovia closed down by Simmermanchik, but gets by him. Simmermanchik ripping the jersey, no foul call. Now Lionel Messi on it. Messi at the midfield circle in Toronto territory. Gets it to Bright. Now Luan. Right in midfield, Bright again. Now Messi. Messi to Segovia, far side touchline in Toronto territory. Now to DePaul. DePaul goes back to Mikael. Now Luan. Nifty passing by Inter Miami. Touch pass. Now it's on the far side touchline to Segovia. Now Inter Miami retreats to their defense, and they'll get it to Dane St. Clair. But once again, Inter Miami's 64% possession compared to Toronto's 36%. XG basically non-existent for our Herons with a .05, as Toronto has a .4, and now Victor Rivas blows his whistle. We have a foul in Inter Miami territory on the near side touchline. That's going to go against Raheem Edwards. 36-minute 0-0 Toronto and Inter Miami. BMO Field. Immediately played from the free kick is Yannick Bright. Now Rodrigo DePaul. DePaul and Mikael, 2-man 2-ball in Inter Miami territory. Now Luan. DePaul. Mikael as he goes towards the far side touchline. DePaul, deep through ball, looking for somebody. Suarez ends up with it right outside the penalty arc. Here's Messi's shot, and just to the right of Luka Gavrin's goal. Waiting to see if there is a deflection on it, if it's going to be a corner or a goal kick in the 37th minute. As it was a through ball. Suarez ended up on it. Messi had a left foot, and that did not touch a Toronto defender. Leo just missed it. As I say, that play resumed quickly, and Toronto's on it right outside of Inter Miami's box as Edwards had a cross in, thwarted away. Now on it again is Toronto with Salui. Salui gets it to Henry. Henry to Kobe Franklin. Franklin looking for Kerr in the box, who goes to ground. No whistle. Now on it is our Herons and DePaul on the near side touchline. DePaul inching closer to midfield. He finds Messi. Messi right at the midfield circle. Nifty pass switches fields to Noah Allen. Allen in Toronto territory on the far side touchline. He gets it to Messi. 2-man, 2-ball, Segovia and Messi. Segovia now to Allen. Far side touchline. 38th minute. 0-0 Toronto and Inter Miami. Mikael up with the attack. So is Bright. DePaul on it. Right outside the midfield circle. Back to Bright at the same spot. Bright will switch his fields. Far side touchline. Allen. Now Mikael. Toronto parking that bus, man. They want nothing of Inter Miami pitter-pattering around their own box. Oh, Noah Allen and Suarez, far side touchline. Danger spot is Luis. Now he'll find DePaul. Tamura. In Toronto territory is DePaul. He'll cut back to the midfield circle. Now Mikael. Allen. Far side touchline. That's been the spot for the last 60 seconds here. That far side touchline and Allen. Inter Miami trying to work the angles of this Toronto defense, who's got 5 at the back today. Now Facundo Mora right at midfield. They'll recycle to Luan and Mikael, who are just behind the midfield line. Now Mikael gets it back to that spot. The far side touchline to Segovia. Suarez to Noah Allen. Allen in the box. Guarded by Franklin. He finds Suarez, but Suarez lost his footing and went off of Luis, and it's going to be a goal kick for Toronto. Inter Miami now has 2 shots on the game, both of them by Lionel Messi. One of them was a free kick. The other one was a direct on opportunity right at the penalty spot, but he sent it right. 40th minute, 0-0. We're 5 minutes away from extra time, presented by our local software Audi dealer as Inter Miami slaps on a press. They almost dispossess Luka Gavrin, goalkeeper in the box. That press worked because Suarez on it right at the penalty arc. Suarez cuts in, gets it to Messi. Messi closed down. Can they get back on it? They don't. And on the run now is Simmermanchik in Toronto. And a bad pass. He got it all wrong. Was looking for DeAndre Kerr. Now can the Herons counter? Here's DePaul. DePaul in the middle to Leo! And he puts a shot. Goes right over the bar, and now the offside flag is up. So Lionel Messi put an honest shot on, went over the bar of Luka Gavrin, the goalkeeper, but both him and Bertarame were both offsides, the 2 players who had an opportunity from the pass on the near side touchline. But Messi basically took it off the volley, and he went over the bar of Luka Gavrin. Lionel Messi, who had a goal and assist in the home loss to Orlando, he has been in form. Before that game, he didn't score for 2 straight games. He almost sounded the alarm bells, but was able to get that assist and that nifty outside of the box left foot finesse goal against Orlando. So a weird half for Inter Miami, who's got 0 shots on target. I'll have to look into the last time that happened for our Herons. As far as Toronto, they have 1 shot on target that came from Kobe Franklin in the 20th minute. 20 minutes ago. Here's Luan, near side touchline, play resumed. He'll do a big switch to the far side touchline and Suarez. Suarez inching closer to midfield. Now he'll centralize the ball with Telasco Segovia. Now Rodrigo to Paul. DePaul gets it back to Segovia. Now to Messi. Near side touchline in Toronto territory is Leo. Leo cutting in. Ball on a string with Messi. Gets it to DePaul, who goes to ground, and a foul. Prime Messi territory for this free kick. Simmermanchik is the man that is being called for a foul. Our Inter Miami Herons want a card as Simmermanchik pushed DePaul to the ground. I could see both ways. I could see a card. I could see a no call. But regardless, folks, Guillermo Hoyos not happy about the no yellow card, interim gaffer. But the good news is, right outside of the penalty arc, Lionel Messi is going to have a left foot free kick opportunity. He was a whisker right in about the 30th-ish, 28-ish minute, but now in the 43rd minute, he is going to have another opportunity to get a goal from a free kick. I would say 8 yards outside of the left side penalty arc of Toronto. So, folks, envision the penalty arc and Luka Gavrin looking at it. He is to the left of Luka Gavrin and about 8 yards to Luka Gavrin's penalty arc. All right. Rodrigo DePaul takes it on instead of Messi. DePaul deflected by the wall, and a deflection goal. Rodrigo DePaul in the 43rd minute. That is one of the more unique goals you will see. DePaul took on the free kick. Folks, I've been calling the games for a year and a half for our Inter Miami Herons. I can't remember the last time Lionel Messi did not take on a free kick. He gave it to DePaul. DePaul hit the wall. It deflected right back to him. He put a shot on, and folks, it deflected right off of the bar and right into Luka Gavrin's net. So 1-0, Inter Miami on top in the first half. The bar, the best friend of Rodrigo DePaul. Once again, I can't remember the last time Lionel Messi didn't take a free kick. But DePaul takes it on, hits the wall, gets it back just like he drew up, and he hit the post, and it went in 1-0 in the 44th minute. And I'm at your mercy. When I meant deflected goal, deflected off the bar, off the woodwork, and into the back of the net. Now, head referee Victor Rivas has not resumed play. I can only imagine that they're looking at something. We do have extra time, though. 2 minutes of extra time presented by your local South Florida Audi dealer. Visit AudiUSA.com to learn more. As now, Rivas blows his whistle. Goal will count 1-0. Our Inter Miami Herons from a deflected free kick opportunity by DePaul. Once again, DePaul took it on, deflected by the wall, got it back and scored. Inter Miami on it again with Lionel Messi. Here's Suarez in the box. Suarez veers in a low-driven grounder that didn't have enough mustard on it and got cleared off the line. Now on it to Paul. DePaul cross in, looking for Bertarame, and a foul on Birdie. Bertarame jumped the back of Zane Man Louie, and he got flagged with a foul. But Inter Miami, after having 2 shots, all of a sudden has 4, a shot on target, and a goal. Toronto now on it in Inter Miami territory. Veering in is Coelho. Coelho to Osorio, who's right outside of the midfield circle in Inter Miami territory. That one deflected by Bright, but back on it is Salui. Salui on the far side touchline. He'll cut in. He finds Osorio. Coelho cross into the back stick. Edwards to Salui, and a deflection by Dane St. Clair. Salui with a nice shot on target, right foot, and that one parried away by St. Clair. No Toronto attackers were able to clean up the scraps, but give Dane St. Clair credit. Big stop for the Herons goalie. Going to be a throw-in for Kobe Franklin. He gets it into the box, headed away by Yannick Bright, and there it is. That is the halftime whistle. Inter Miami up 1-0. A Rodrigo DePaul goal. A very unlikely goal. It was a free kick about 8 yards to the left of the penalty arc. Lionel Messi let Rodrigo DePaul take it on. It hit the wall, came back to him, and then he put a shot on target, went off the bar and into the back of the net. And that is the one goal for our Herons at halftime. Our halftime report coming up next on your Inter Miami Radio Network.
For 40 years, Lytle, Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fraunrath has stood up for clients in South Florida communities. If you've been injured, their experienced attorneys across South Florida are ready to fight for your rights. They've recovered billions for their clients. There's no cost for a case evaluation and no fee unless they win. Visit foryourrights.com. That's foryourrights.com. Lytle, Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fraunrath, proud supporters of Inter Miami FC on ESPN South Florida. Main office in Palm Beach Gardens.
Overheard at the Hard Rock Bet Party.
Hey, Michael Irvin, another promo just dropped on Hard Rock Bet. I got a profit boost this morning. Whoa, and a huge bonus bet just hit my account. Is the app on fire like this every week?
Only on days that end in Y. Like today, yesterday, all day, every day.
Download the Hard Rock Bet app and start playing today. Hard Rock Bet. Roll with us.
Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about your gambling? Call or text 1-833-PLAY-WISE.
For 40 years, Lytle, Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fraunrath has stood up for clients in South Florida communities. If you've been injured, their experienced attorneys across South Florida are ready to fight for your rights. They've recovered billions for their clients. There's no cost for a case evaluation and no fee unless they win. Visit foryourrights.com. That's foryourrights.com. Lytle, Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fraunrath, proud supporters of Inter Miami FC on ESPN South Florida. Main office in Palm Beach Gardens.
If you want to learn how to fan the football way, ask the fans with a Modelo. Only they know how to celebrate with strangers as if they were lifelong friends. To lose their voice for weeks after chanting for 90 minutes. They are always ready to teach you the ways of football, because to them, passion is meant to be shared. So go ahead, ask the fans with a Modelo.
Picture this. A curve in the road. A change in plans. Well, what do you say? With the all-new Audi Q3, the answer's always yes. Yes to adventure. Yes to escape. Yes to performance. Yes to comfort. Yes to right now. Because saying yes without hesitation, that's real luxury. The all-new Audi Q3, made for the yes life.
Overheard at the Hard Rock Bet Party.
Hey, Irv, you watching the game?
Watching. I'm all over these live bets on the Hard Rock Bet app right now. Brother, I'm in the game. That's a quick winner. Si se puede. Si se puede. Si se
Live
puede.
betting on Hard Rock Bet makes any game worth celebrating.
Si se.
Download the Hard Rock Bet app and start live betting today. Hard Rock Bet. Roll with us.
Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about your gambling? Call or text 1-833-PLAY-WISE.
Progressive's accident response can detect and send help when you need it most, after a major car accident. But other accidents, you're on your own. Like when you accidentally call your wife Mom. When you accidentally say Happy Holidays on someone's birthday. When you accidentally wave at someone you thought was waving at you. We can't help with those accidents, but Progressive's accident response provides peace of mind after major car accidents. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Limited availability in California. Driver is responsible for emergency and towing charges not covered by the policy.
Mother's Day, this Sunday. Gifts I needed? Multiple. Time I had? Basically none. Was I stressed? Absolutely. Until I came to Macy's, because now I'm finding gifts that feel thoughtful. A designer handbag, beautiful fine jewelry, great beauty gift sets that don't need to be wrapped. One trip to Macy's, and it looks like I planned it all along. Hurry in and save on the perfect gift at Macy's Mother's Day sale today.
Did you miss Theoretically Speaking?
I have an announcement to make. The Dorsey family is expanding, and we are expecting a baby boy. The Theoretically Speaking family is just expanded. It's great times. I've never felt more rich as a human being. No, I'm not talking about money, because all these baby products and stuff we paying for, yeah, the bank account's getting low. Things are amazing. Things are beautiful. And I want to share that with you good people. We are expecting our first son. Things are great, and we are expanding, man.
It's Theoretically Speaking, weekdays at 2, here on ESPN 106.3.
Inter Miami Soccer is on ESPN 106.3. Let's get back to the pitch. Here's Mike Rizzo.
Welcome back to your Inter Miami Radio Network. It is officially halftime. It is officially halftime here at BMO Field. Our Inter Miami Herons are up 1-0. was a deflected goal, or rather a off-the-bar goal, off-the-woodwork goal. The bar, the best friend of Rodrigo DePaul, because he opened up the scoring in the 44th minute right before halftime. Now, I got Tomas Horcada back at the City Place Studios in downtown West Palm Beach, and Toto was able to cut up the goal quickly before we get into the goal. I'm at your mercy. I said a deflected goal. That's because it deflected off of the bar and into the back of the net. So let's take a listen to Rodrigo DePaul's 44th minute goal to open up the scoring 1-0 in Toronto at BMO Field.
Yeah, absolutely. It just makes the game more fun.
All right. Rodrigo DePaul takes it on instead of Messi. DePaul deflected by the wall, and a deflection goal. Rodrigo DePaul in the 43rd minute. That is one of the more unique goals you will see. DePaul took on the free kick. Folks, I've been calling the games for a year and a half for our Inter Miami Herons. I can't remember the last time Lionel Messi did not take on a free kick. He gave it to DePaul. DePaul hit the wall. It deflected right back to him. He put a shot on, and folks, it deflected right off of the bar and right into Luka Gavrin's net. So 1-0, Inter Miami on top in the first half. The bar, the best friend of Rodrigo DePaul. Once again, I can't, and you hear my shock. I can't believe Messi didn't take it on. I can't tell you. Like a year and a half, I've been calling these games, folks. I cannot tell you the last time Lionel Messi did not take on a direct free kick that could have been a goal. But he laid it up to DePaul. DePaul went off of the wall. It deflected off of the wall back to DePaul. DePaul put a shot on target, deflected off the ball, and into the back of the net. So an off-bar goal for Rodrigo DePaul makes things 1-0. But, folks, if I could keep it a buck, up until that point, Inter Miami was not the better team. They had 2 shots total in the half leading up to that moment, and they were both taken by Lionel Messi. Messi missed a direct free kick earlier in the half, and then he took a ball off of a volley. He got his left foot on it, but didn't put it on target. But Rodrigo DePaul able to get the Herons back straight with the goal in the 44th minute. And here's how the halftime stats read. Inter Miami dominating possession, as our Herons always do. With the XG expected goals split right in the middle, 0.5 to 0.5. 12 total shots in the game, 5 by Inter Miami, 7 by Toronto, and 2 shots total on target for both teams. Inter Miami leading the way with touches in the box, 9 compared to Toronto's 6. 1 big chance and 1 big chance missed for Inter Miami, and there have been no big chances for Toronto. Inter Miami by far the more accurate passing team as well. 282 to 143. Inter Miami with an 88% pass completion rate. Only 2 corners in the game, 0 for Inter Miami, and both of them going to Toronto's way. So 2 total corners in the game, and both of them on the Toronto side. Let's take our final, timeout of halftime. When we return, we'll get things going with the second half. Once again, if you're just joining us, this is your Inter Miami Radio Network. I am the voice of the Inter Miami Herons, Mike Rizzo. To my right at BMO Field is Gary Ibar, my on-site producer. And then my producer back at the City Place Studios in downtown West Palm Beach is Tomas Horcada, filling in for Cade Chumsland. 1-0, your scoreline. Inter Miami on top on your Inter Miami Radio Network.
For 40 years, Lionel, Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Frauenrath has stood up for clients in South Florida communities. If you've been injured, their experienced attorneys across South Florida are ready to fight for your rights. They've recovered billions for their clients. There's no cost for a case evaluation and no fee unless they win. Visit foryourrights.com. That's foryourrights.com. Lionel, Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Frauenrath. Proud supporters of Inter Miami FC on ESPN South Florida. Main office in Palm Beach Gardens.
Picture this: a curve in the road, a change in plans. Well, what do you say? With the all-new Audi Q3, the answer's always yes. Yes to adventure. Yes to escape. Yes to performance. Yes to comfort. yes to right now. Because saying yes without hesitation, that's real luxury. The all-new Audi Q3, made for the yes life.
Overheard at the Hard Rock Bet Party.
Hey, Michael Irvin, another promo just dropped on Hard Rock Bet. I got a profit boost this morning. Whoa, and a huge bonus bet just hit my account. Is the app on fire like this every week?
Only on days that end in Y. Like today, yesterday, all day, every day.
Download the Hard Rock Bet app and start playing today. Hard Rock Bet. Roll with us.
Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about your gambling? Call or text 1-833-PLAY-WISE.
Hi, this is Evan Cohen. Listen to me in the morning, 6 to 10 a.m. on Unsportsmanlike.
My extremely close, bestest of friend, John Martin in Florida, ESPN West Palm, laughs at me because I buy socks all the time from the supermarket. They now have T-shirts and underwear. So I buy socks from the supermarket. Is that weird?
Yeah, that is weird, yes.
So he's right on that?
Yes, that's strange. Supermarket socks?
What's the difference? I like supermarket socks.
Yeah, you like it, but I assume that you like it because you don't know no better.
Right here on ESPN 106.3.
If you want to learn how to fan the football way, ask the fans with a Modelo. Only they know how to celebrate with strangers as if they were lifelong friends. To lose their voice for weeks after chanting for 90 minutes. They are always ready to teach you the ways of football because to them, passion is meant to be shared. So go ahead, ask the fans with a Modelo.
This is the story of the one. As a procurement manager for a hospital system, she keeps every facility in her network stocked and ready. That's why she counts on Grainger to be her single source for thousands of products, from disinfectants to lighting, air filters, and more. And with fast, dependable delivery, Grainger helps her keep every facility stocked, safe, and running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, U.S. Tax Shield can help you take back control. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Our team of tax attorneys can stop collections and get you protected. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the BBB, so call 800-466-9625. U.S. Tax Shield, 800-466-9625.
For 40 years, Lionel, Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fraunrath has stood up for clients in South Florida communities. If you've been injured, their experienced attorneys across South Florida are ready to fight for your rights. They've recovered billions for their clients. There's no cost for a case evaluation and no fee unless they win. Visit foryourrights.com. That's foryourrights.com. Lionel, Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fraunrath, proud supporters of Inter Miami FC on ESPN South Florida. Main office in Palm Beach Gardens.
Overheard at the Hard Rock Bet Party.
Hey, Irv, you watching the game?
Watching? I'm all over these live bets on the Hard Rock Bet app right now. Brother, I'm in the game. That's a quick winner. Si se puede, si se puede, si se
Live
puede.
betting on Hard Rock Bet makes any game worth celebrating. Download the Hard Rock Bet app and start live betting today. Hard Rock Bet. Roll with us.
Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about your gambling? Call or text 1-833-PLAY-WISE.
If you want to learn how to fan the football way, ask the fans with a Modelo. Only they know how to celebrate with strangers as if they were lifelong friends. To lose their voice for weeks after chanting for 90 minutes. They are always ready to teach you the ways of football because to them, passion is meant to be shared. So go ahead, ask the fans with a Modelo.
Picture this, a curve in the road, a change in plans. Well, what do you say? With the all-new Audi Q3, the answer's always yes. Yes to adventure. Yes to escape. Yes to performance. Yes to comfort. Yes to right now. Because saying yes without hesitation, that's real luxury. The all-new Audi Q3, made for the yes life.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer, providing equal employment, development, and advancement opportunities to all teammates and applicants. To learn more about careers with us, please send an email to talent acquisition at goodkarmabrands.com. That's talent acquisition at goodkarmabrands.com.
Don't miss Russo and Rizzo. I'm going to Norway. A 26-bed hostel room. It's $110 a night. Disgusting. I would never do a hostel. There's something that I found called couch surfing. You could go to somebody's home, and I'm pretty sure it's free. But the idea is you need to pull your weight around the house. What are you doing? You're going to go be a nanny in Norway? I don't know, man. You're going to have to do chores to stay somewhere. You're ridiculous.
It's Russo and Rizzo, weekdays at 4, here on ESPN 106.3.
This is the story of the one. As a procurement manager for a hospital system, she keeps every facility in her network stocked and ready. That's why she counts on Grainger to be her single source for thousands of products, from disinfectants to lighting, air filters, and more. And with fast, dependable delivery, Grainger helps her keep every facility stocked, safe, and running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems. Listen carefully. If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, U.S. Tax Shield can help you take back control. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Our team of tax attorneys can stop collections and get you protected. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the BBB, so call 800-466-9625. U.S. Tax Shield, 800-466-9625.
Inter Miami Soccer is on ESPN 106.3. Let's get back to the pitch. Here's Mike Rizzo.
Moments, and I mean near moments away from kicking things off for the second half at BMO Field. Folks, welcome on in to your Inter Miami radio network. We got the second half of our Inter Miami Herons and Toronto in Toronto at BMO Field moments away. Inter Miami up 1-0, and we are underway in the second half. Once again, Inter Miami up 1-0. It was a 44th minute goal by Rodrigo de Paul, which opened up the scoring. It was let me put this again. Deflected off of the wall from a direct free kick back to de Paul, and then de Paul shot on target, deflected off of the bar and into the back of the net. But Toronto on it as we start the second half on the far side touchline. This is Edwards and Simmermanchik. Simmermanchik put a ball into the box, and our Herons snuffed it out immediately. On it is Yannick Bright. Now he is closed down, and on it for Toronto is Edwards again. Far side touchline, him and Osorio, 2-man 2-ball. Osorio gets it to Salui. Edwards tried making a cross in, and that one cleared away by Segovia. Messi tracking, and now him and Bertarame are on it. Messi with space, right outside of the penalty arc. Leo still ball on a string to Suarez, and oh my goodness, Luis just missed to the right. Oh no! Messi with a ball on the yo-yo. Gave it to Suarez on that left side. Luis took a right-footed shot from the left side of the box, and he got it all wrong. Oh, my goodness. How isn't that in the back of the net? How isn't it 2-0? But Lionel Messi, ball on a yo-yo, ball on a string, in the box, laid it up to Luis, and he got that right foot wrong. Play resumed. Goal kick taken, and on the near side touchline is Coelho. Him and Segovia fighting tooth and nail for the ball. Toronto ends up back on it. Now, this is Edwards, who came all the way back to the defense, and now he's on a run, gets it past midfield, guarded by DePaul. Edwards now stops his run, gets it to Coelho. Coelho with a lot of space right outside of Inter Miami's box. On it is Henry. Henry now into the box to Osorio, and they'll recycle to Franklin. Osorio back on it, now Simmermanchik. Closed down by Mikael. Mikael still tracking. Now Kobe Franklin back on it. Toronto is parked right outside of Inter Miami's box, though, as trying to get to this ball is Franklin, boxed out by Luan, and Luan wins a goal kick. So Kobe Franklin was tracking for the ball, and he got pushed off the ball by Luan. He wanted a penalty. That happened in the box. But this is a man's sport, right? And Luan bullies him right off the ball. You're allowed to get physical like that. I don't think that's never a penalty. That's never a penalty. I think Kobe Franklin was fishing a little bit there. But 48th minute, Dane St. Clair gets it to Mikael, and now he has it back out on his feet. On that far side touchline is Luan, back to St. Clair. Now in Inter Miami's box is Mikael. Inter Miami trying to work through this Toronto press. Luan turns on the Jets on the far side touchline. Messi tried getting a back heel pass to Suarez, and it is won by Toronto. Gavrin plays it out of his box. He's looking deep to Simermanchik. Ball won by Inter Miami. And now on it is Mikael. 49th minute, 1-0 Inter Miami on top. Here's St. Clair playing it out of his box. Now to Yannick Bright. Bright looking for Segovia. Him and Coelho in a fight. And that's going to be a foul on Telasco Segovia. And it's going to be a free kick. As I said, 49th minute, 1-0 Inter Miami. Osorio to Simermanchik. Now played to the defense. Now far side touchline to Simermanchik. Now Osorio. Inter Miami playing off of the ball. But now far side touchline, as I say that, pass to Edwards. Edwards tries crossing it in, deflected by Facundo Mora, and now on it is DePaul. Right at their own byline, Luan clears it. They'll fight for it, won by Simermanchik. Toronto's still on the ball. Here's Coelho, right outside Inter Miami's box, and he's closed down by Segovia and Bright. Bright on it, and a bad pass intercepted by Coelho. So a turnover by Yannick, and Toronto back to pitter-pattering around Inter Miami's box. Kerr gets sprung off the ball, and on it is DePaul, and a foul. That's going to go against Edwards. He doesn't like it, but Rodrigo what's going to actually re-have our first card of the game. So a card is shown to Raheem Edwards. Edwards went rather from the back of Rodrigo DePaul, and he picks up a yellow in the 50th minute. And Inter Miami, right off of the jump, gets it to the far side touchline right outside of the box of Toronto. Inter Miami's turn to pass around the box. Here's DePaul, and DePaul bullied off of the ball, and a nifty tackle by Yannick Bright. He stole DeAndre Kerr's change. Now near side touchline in Toronto territory is Segovia. Segovia cuts in. He gets it to Suarez. Suarez was looking for a foul, goes to ground, no whistle, but birdie on it. Now Noah Allen. Allen looking for Suarez in the box. Ball cleared away. Can our Herons get back on it? They do with Segovia. Now Messi. Leo, right outside of Toronto's box. Messi, nifty move. Can Segovia get to it? No, but it gets deflected to Allen. Allen passed to Suarez. Suarez back stick looking for Messi, and that one goes out of bounds. Going to be a goal kick. So Toronto going to play it out of their own box in a goal kick with Gavrin. Gavrin now immediately plays it as defender, and now he's on the ball in his box. Ball roll, and now he boots it deep. Looking for Kerr. Ball won by Inter Miami. 52nd minute, 1-0 Inter Miami on top of Toronto. Dane St. Clair on the ball in his own box. St. Clair will come to the near side touchline, and Allen, good pass by Allen. Bullied off the ball, Segovia, no whistle. Toronto in a dangerous spot. Here's Henry right at the byline. Pass in, and DePaul with a nice deflection. That could have been an opportunity as Henry made it to the byline in Inter Miami's box, put a pass in the middle, looking for a defender, or rather an attacker, to clean it up in front of net. But Rodrigo did a good job positioning himself and winning the ball. Inter Miami on it with Messi. Messi with space across midfield. Now Leo will veer inside. Still on it is Messi. To ground, Edwards, and no whistle. Apparently he won the ball. Now Yannick Bright wins it back. Inter Miami in a dangerous spot with Suarez. Suarez looking for Berterame, but Bertie made the wrong run. Now Segovia, though, on top of it. Segovia outside of the box gets it to DePaul. DePaul right outside of the penalty arc to Messi. Here's DePaul, and he hit RT or R2 a little too soon. And for those of you who play FIFA, you know what I'm talking about. It was an elephant touch by DePaul in the box. But Lionel Messi had that ball on a string, and it was a good tackle by Raheem Edwards. He's on a yellow card, too. He went to ground, and he got the ball. Could have been his second yellow if he got Leo's foot. Right outside of Inter Miami's penalty arc is Mikael. 54th minute, 1-0 Inter Miami on top. Luan. Mikael, 2-man-2 ball with the Inter Miami center backs. Now Noah Allen on a dangerous run on the near side touchline. He gets it to Segovia. Segovia in Toronto territory. Suarez goes to ground on a pass, and it's intercepted by Toronto. But Osorio was looking for Kerr. Kerr got a taste of the turf monster and got taken to the ground. Oh, Inter Miami on the counter. Far side touchline. Moura to Suarez. Suarez in the box goes to the ground, and Toronto wins it. Why Luis is going to the ground there, and maybe he's looking for a penalty, but if he stayed on his feet, he would have had an opportunity. And now on the run is Salui. DePaul and Luan able to close him down. Rodrigo on it. Rodrigo gets it to Messi. Suarez, dangerous spot in the box, shot and a goal! Luis Suarez, goal, 55th minute, assisted by Lionel Messi. Toronto wanted offsides. I don't think they're going to get one. Luis Suarez did a great job of waiting to receive the ball. 55th minute goal for Luis Suarez. Him and Messi finally linking up and on the right wavelength. But Luis Suarez, who has been dynamite since he's won that starting position, apparently onside here. We're still waiting, but I believe Luis timed his run correctly with Kobe Franklin. It was a left foot near post goal by Luis, and I think we're still waiting on a VAR check, but I think this is going to count. I really do. He did a brilliant job of timing up his run in the pass by Lionel Messi. Now, Robin Fraser, head gaffer for Toronto, is making his case that this should be offside. Like I said, we have a stoppage of play for a VAR check on the goal. But Luis, like I said, I think he timed that run up right. Now on the ground is Raheem Edwards. Maybe this is what we're waiting for. As Osorio, the captain, is having words with head referee Victor Rivas. But Luis Suarez, as of now, in the 56th minute, has made things 2-0. And I think the goal stands. I literally think we're waiting on Raheem Edwards, who is still on the turf. But Osorio, Messi, and DePaul now having conversations. And now Raheem Edwards will be escorted off of the pitch. I think he's good enough to go, but you know how this happens. He's got to come off. So Toronto going to be playing with 10 men for about a minute here, as Edwards will have to wait to check back into the match. And Edwards very angry. He thought Suarez should have been offsides, but it was a nifty timed run by Luis Suarez, who caught Kobe Franklin and goalkeeper Luka Gavrin sleeping. A left-footed near-post goal. And it counts. And we are underway again in the second half. Once again, Raheem Edwards is going to have to wait to check into the game after being on the turf. Or rather, this is natural grass. After being on the grass for about 2 minutes. So keep that in mind with extra time later on in the game. But 58.5 minutes, Inter Miami up 2-0. Rodrigo DePaul and Luis Suarez, the two goal scorers. DePaul in the 44th, Suarez in the 56th. But Suarez timing his run up correctly with defender Kobe Franklin, and Lionel Messi is now on an assist. Messi, Suarez! Can Leo have another goal and an assist game? He did it against Orlando. We'll have to wait and see, but there's plenty of time for him to score. Toronto now trying to gather their bearings. Raheem Edwards able to check back into the game. Raheem Morris, obviously the former Falcon coach. Getting my Raheems mixed up here in the 59th minute. But Edwards in. And Simmermanchik's on in the dangerous spot. He goes to the near side touchline. On the ball is Henry. Henry still on it, going to the byline, cross in, and a good job by Dane St. Clair to grab that one out of air. So St. Clair able to get would have been cross in by Henry. St. Clair now a good pass, good boot to Berterame, now to Messi in a dangerous spot. Leo right outside of the box. He tries to veer in, and he is intercepted by Coelho. Now Edwards is intercepted. Messi back on it, right outside of the box. Leo taking the ground and a foul. I don't think this is going to be a penalty kick, but it's going to be a free kick. I would say a half inch outside of the box and a yellow card shown to boot. So in the 60th minute, Lionel Messi gets awarded a free kick. As I said, about a half inch outside of the box, kissing the line the ball will be. And that is Coelho, who is going to be awarded the yellow card as well. So Raheem Edwards and Alonso Coelho on yellow cards. Keep in mind, the last free kick was taken by Rodrigo DePaul. It was deflected off of the wall, back to DePaul, shot on target, off the bar, and into the back of the net. Just how DePaul drew it up. Now, I don't see Lionel Messi giving up 2 free kicks in one game. But hey, maybe Rodrigo deserves a second free kick. Now, this is from the right side of the box. So to put in perspective, folks, if you're Luka Gavrin, goalkeeper for Toronto, it's to his left and to Inter Miami's right if they're attacking. So this lines up perfectly with Lionel Messi's left foot, where he could finesse it and curl it into the back of the net. Messi takes it on, and a diving save by Gavrin. Messi tried going upper 90 on the right side. And Gavrin, I think, is holding that left shoulder. Keep in mind, Gavrin and Berterame had a big-time collision in the box, and he landed on his shoulder. But Messi with a nifty free kick. You think he would have went for the left upper 90, but he decided to go right. That was a knuckleball if I've ever seen one. But corner kick presented by Lytle Rider, Smith, Ivy, and Fronrath. Visit foryourrights.com. Take it short. Messi and DePaul, 2-man 2-ball. DePaul back to Messi in the box, and Raheem Edwards able to win the ball in the box. Wow. Messi would have had another opportunity in front of net, and Berterame called for a foul on the far side touchline. But, folks, 62nd minute, 2-0, Inter Miami on top. The goal scorers, Rodrigo DePaul and Luis Suarez. Lionel Messi on an assist. Toronto resumes play. I think something is on the field. I think a banner has made its way out. Red streamer banner has made its way on the field, and Raheem Edwards having a real tough go at it over there, and he's on the ball now. Escaped the banner. Someone needs to get that off of the field. Regardless, Toronto parked right outside of Inter Miami's box. Edwards crossing it in, and that one cleared away by Mikael. Messi trying to track it on the far side touchline, and a throw-in. Can somebody please get the streamer off of the field as throw-in taken for Toronto? Like I said, we don't want anyone getting hurt here at BMO Field. One of the supporters' banners still on the field as Dane St. Clair comes off of his line and is able to grab the ball. Now, Toronto faithful thought St. Clair stepped outside of his box, and head referee Rivas said no dice. Two-man, two-ball, DePaul and Messi. Messi closed down. Back on it is Toronto. Here is Edwards. Osorio. Right at midfield is Osorio. Coelho. Now here's Zane Manlui. Edwards. Far side touchline. Manlui. Osorio. So Toronto, nifty passing here in the 64th minute. They're down 2-0 to our Herons. Facundo Mora trying to watch this one go out of bounds. Now he has to take a touch, and he actually completes a pass to Verterame, and now DePaul on it, and DePaul called for a foul. Folks, the banner, and yeah, Rodrigo DePaul, I mean, finally, Rodrigo DePaul grabs this ridiculous banner that has been split into 3 different pieces on the far side touchline. Can we please get the streamer off of the field in the 64th minute? We'll have 2 substitutions in the 64th minute. Emilio and Etienne Jr. checking into the game. Coming off of the pitch is Kerr and Simermancic. So Emilio on for Kerr. And Etienne Jr. on for Simermancic. Once again, Etienne Jr. on for Simermancic, the midfielder, and Emilio on for DeAndre Kerr, one of the strikers in a dual strike partnership. But in the 65th minute, Toronto will have a free kick. Our Inter Miami Herons lead 2-0. Free kick taken into the box, and gosh, that was a little too close for comfort, as it was a good ball into the back stick. I believe an Inter Miami Heron touched it. We're going to have a corner kick presented by Lytle Rider Smith, Ivy, and Fronrath. Visit foryourrights.com. Lytle Rider Smith, Ivy, and Fronrath have been serving South Florida and their families for over 40 years. Visit foryourrights.com. But a right side free kick to the left of Dane St. Clair. Coelho will take it. Right foot, corner, into the box. Header! Saved! Dane St. Clair! Getting the head on it was Manlui. And St. Clair able to make the save of the game so far on his near post in the 66th minute. But Inter Miami escapes, and it's 2-0. They're still leading. Once again, Emilio and Etienne Jr. coming on for Kerr and Simermancic. So head gaffer Robin Frazier going to try something different. Now on a deep through ball, Bertarame tracking, and Luka Garvin will boot it into the 90th row. I think that's the farthest I've ever seen a goalkeeper kick it into the stands, as he needed to, because Bertarame, Birdie, was tracking. Now we're going to have a substitution for our Inter Miami Herons. Noah Allen coming off the pitch, and Sergio Regulon going to be coming on. Regulon will be coming onto the pitch for the first time since the Austin game. So Regulon healthy enough to come onto the pitch for the first time in about 4 or 5 games. As my mental math, I'm trying to track it. Yeah, 5 games. Austin was the first game at New Bank Stadium where our Herons drew, and that was the last time we saw Regulon. Now, a Toronto player is on the ground. We do have a stoppage of play, and once again, Raheem Edwards on the ground. Now, I'm not the gaffer for Toronto, and I don't want to be the gaffer of Toronto, but I think it's time to get him off of the pitch. He's been on the ground 3 different times. He's on a yellow card. You think he'd sub him off sooner than later. But as I've always say, as an Inter Miami homer and a fan, I hope he stays on the pitch and picks up a second yellow. So we're playing up a man. Regardless, in the 68th minute, Morris is injured, and I actually think they are scrapping for a substitution off of that Toronto bench. Physios are escorting him off of the pitch. 2-0 Inter Miami on top. If you're just joining us, goals by Rodrigo de Paul and Luis Suarez. Appreciate everyone listening on the radio dial, ESPN 106.3 on the FM. I appreciate all of our Sirius XM listeners, and I appreciate all of our listeners on our YouTube channel, ESPN West Palm FC, our YouTube channel, ESPN West Palm FC. My man Killiman, Cornelu, Fella, everyone in the chat, we appreciate you interacting on our Inter Miami radio network. Coming onto the pitch is Chisholm, and checking off is Edwards. So Chisholm, no relation to Chaz Chisholm, but Chisholm checking onto the pitch to finish this one out at left back for Toronto. Play resumed. Dane St. Clair on the ball in his own box. He'll boot it deep. Suarez trying to win the ball. Him and Man Louie doing battle, and Man Louie muscles him off the ball. On it is Coelho. Coelho gets it to Salui. Salui with space shot and an ambitious attempt. Not a bad attempt. Give him credit. Goes over Dane St. Clair's box. That one more close for comfort, though. Daniel Salui with a pretty good attempt in the 70th minute. Daniel Salui from Hungary, the 29-year-old. Now, Robin Fraser switching up his tactics. He's going with a 4-2-3-1 for the rest of this game. They started with a 5-3-2 with 5 at the back, obviously being down 2-0. You want to get rid of that 5th defender. 70th minute, though, 2-0 Inter Miami on top as Toronto intercepts sloppy play by our Herons. And a good diving tackle by Gonzalo Luan to thwart Osorio. And Lionel Messi on it at midfield. Dangerous spot. And Messi gets his change picked by Etienne Jr. Now Toronto on it. Now another interception. So back and forth possession changes in this one in the 71st. To Paul on it for our Herons. Now Yannick Bright. They'll recycle to their defense and their goalkeeper, Dane St. Clair. St. Clair to Luan, far side touchline. Yannick Bright on it. Right outside of the midfield circle is DePaul. DePaul inching closer to the midfield line. He crosses midfield to Segovia now. Bright. Near side touchline, Moura. Mikael. Now Dane St. Clair right on side of his penalty arc and his box. He'll wait for Toronto to close him down. Now he boots it deep. He's looking for Sergio Regulon, who wins it off of Kobe Franklin. Now Lionel Messi, back to Regulon. Regulon shot, goal! Sergio Regulon, who just checked in the 68th minute, makes it 3-0. Good pass by Messi. Right foot shot, Regulon. That is Sergio's first goal in Inter Miami pink. And Regulon, who's been battling injury all year long, able to find the back of the net. A good job by Regulon, taking the ball off of Kobe Franklin's boot. He got it to Messi. Messi got him in a dangerous spot. And he goes cross keep right across Luca Gavrin's face. 3-0, our Herons. So Sergio Regulon, first goal as an Inter Miami Heron who subbed on in the 68th minute. One would think that this is enough to see 3 points. Folks, if Inter Miami wins this game, this will be their 6th straight road victory. Now, I did this last broadcast when they were up 3-0, and all hell broke loose. But I have a good feeling here at BMO Field that our Herons will be able to see this one through. Coelho now, they'll get it to Henry. Here's Osorio. Osorio to Salui. Inter Miami wants an offsides in their box, but a good job there by Mikael to thwart away a dangerous pass right in front of Dean St. Clair. Suarez now trying to get, or rather Toronto trying to close him down, and Regulon with a bad pass. On it now is Etienne Jr., but Luan picked this change. Can Inter Miami hit on the counter? Here's Telasco Segovia. Segovia to Messi. Messi with space. Leo still on it. Lays it up to DePaul. DePaul back to Messi. Shot! Goal! Goal! Lionel Messi! From Rodrigo DePaul. Folks, it's 4-0. Inter Miami running away at BMO Field. Lionel Messi with a goal and 2 assists. Luca Gavrin looking for answers. He's not going to find it in his water bottle because it's 4-0 Inter Miami. The counter hit. DePaul to Messi and a goal. So Lionel Messi, 2 straight games with a goal and an assist. And for good measure, he's got 2 assists tonight. So the great run of play by the GOAT is continuing. Nonetheless, in front of 36,000 fans at BMO Field. "4-0 Herons." Play resumed with Osorio. Can Inter Miami keep piling on? They're on the ball again. And Bertarame, or rather Suarez, unable to get on the other end of a Rodrigo DePaul pass. Here is Osorio, right outside Inter Miami's box. I'll tell you what, guys, Gonzalo Luan has had a heck of a game at center back for the Herons tonight. Rather today, excuse me. I'm used to night games. Him and Mikael have really candy barred the door since the first touch of the game as DePaul goes to ground, no foul, and now we have a foul. So a late whistle by the lines judge will give Inter Miami a free kick. But Lionel Messi having a messy game with a goal and 2 assists, and he stands over a free kick on the far side touchline right outside of Toronto's box. Dare I say, I don't think he could go for goal from here, but he could certainly put in some good service to the Inter Miami wall. Speaking of trying to get on the other end of it was Bertarame. Bertarame put a shoulder on it. It deflected off a Toronto player, and we have a corner kick presented by Lytle Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fronrad. Folks, Lytle Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fronrad have been serving South Florida and their families for over 40 years. Visit foryourrights.com. Lytle Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fronrad, proud sponsor of Inter Miami Corners. Segovia will take it short to DePaul. DePaul lays it back up to Segovia, and Luan tried doing a nifty backheel to Bertarame, and Toronto able to clear it out. Inter Miami getting ready to make substitutions. I see 3 Herons on the side, and it's our young Herons. I see Plambic, Aishala, and Pinter. So coming off of the pitch, we'll get you the 3 Herons that are coming off. Telasco Segovia will be one of them. Yannick Bright will be one of them. And Luis Suarez will be the other. So Pinter on for Suarez, Ayala on for Bright, and Plambic on for Segovia. Plambic, who actually has seen action this season in the New England game in a draw at home. Plambic, a youth academy kid, as well as Daniel Pinter. But David Ayala was a transfer added by our Herons before the season. But Ayala, Pinter, and Plambic on for the Herons. Suarez, Bright, and Segovia off in the 78th minute. But Inter Miami up 4-0, and they might not be done with the goal scoring as Messi had a deep through ball, was looking for Sergio Regulon, but it's going to be a throw-in, near side throw-in right outside of Toronto's box. Near side touchline throw-in right outside of Toronto's box in the 79th minute. On the throw, Regulon, he finds Pinter. And won by Toronto. But Inter Miami back on it after Toronto unable to hold possession. Right at midfield is Moura and Luan. Two-man, two-ball. Luan lays it up to DePaul. DePaul right outside the midfield circle. He'll look deep to Messi. Messi in Toronto's box. Leo shot! Oh my goodness, what a stop by Luka Gavrin. How did he save that? That was a beautiful shot on target. And Luka Gavrin can't save. Able to stop Leo from getting his brace. Unbelievable. That is a heck of a save. But it's going to be a corner kick presented by Lytle Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fronrath. Folks, Lytle Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fronrath have been serving South Florida and their families for over 40 years. Visit foryourrights.com. Taken short. Here's Plambic. Plambic will get it to Regulon. Regulon going back stick. Got the pass all wrong. Can our Herons get back on it? Plambic with a header, but it falls right to Henry, and he'll thwart it away. On it, though, is Dane St. Clair in Inter Miami's box. Folks, welcome to the 80th minute. Inter Miami dominating, up 4-0. Goals by Rodrigo DePaul, Luis Suarez, Sergio Regulon, and Lionel Messi. St. Clair will get it to Luan. Messi. Far side touchline for Facundo Mora. Now DePaul. DePaul cut in. Still in Inter Miami territory are our Herons. Luan now, right in between the penalty arc and midfield. He'll switch his fields to Mikael. Now near side touchline, Regulon. Toronto slapping on a press. And oh my goodness, David Ayala forgot the ball. Shot and a goal. Unbelievable, folks. David Ayala forgot the ball. So a big oopsie by the young Ayala costs Inter Miami 4-1 is the score now. And then Dane St. Clair's clean sheet is eviscerated. He's a young player. But Ayala forgot the ball. It's the best way I can put it. He received it in his box. He tried to kick it with his right foot, fell on his bum, and scoring the goal is the recently subbed on Emilio. But a big-time oopsie by Ayala. Good news, Inter Miami is still up 3 goals. And like I said, Ayala, a young player. You look past it. He is a player who is yet to really find his footing with our Herons. We've seen him start. We've seen him come off the bench. But got to be better there for David Ayala, and he knows it. Now, Inter Miami tried resuming play, but head referee Victor Rivas blows his whistle, and we're going to have to redo the whole kit and caboodle, the whole song and dance. Whatever pun you want to put in there. But in the 82nd minute, it is now 4-1. Play resumed. Then Toronto back on it. Intercepting it is Aishala. Now in the box is Mikael. Mikael will go far side touchline looking for DePaul, but intercepted by ETN Jr. in Toronto. Plambic doing a good job, though, winning the ball back. Toronto slapping on a press. Here's Luan from his box. He'll find Plambic. Plambic to Sergio Regulon. Regulon back to Plambic. Plambic. Pass to Bertarame. Bertarame and Plambic near side touchline. They'll get it back to Regulon. Now Aishala right outside of the midfield circle. Luan will get it to Facundo Mora. Back to Aishala. Aishala far side touchline. Messi. DePaul. Now Messi tried going back to DePaul. Ball intercepted. Here is Coelho. Making a run is Henry. He'll go to the other side to, Osorio. And we have a fan on the field. He's approaching Messi, folks. He gives Leo a hug. He daps up. Leo daps up the fan. And then he is tackled by security. Fan on the field in the 84th minute. You know me, in situations like this, I worry of the fan having something in his pocket, God forbid, something that could do harm to Leo. But Messi, always a good sport in situations like this. Granted, the fan ran to him arms wide looking for a bear hug as, Messi gave him a nice little dap up, and we'll move on with our lives. That man is going to have a long night in a Toronto prison. But 4-1, Inter Miami still on top. As play now resumed, as Chisholm will get it to Man Louie. Been a rough go for the back line of Toronto. Seeing 4 goals go across Luka Gaffron's posts. As Inter Miami slaps on a press. But a good job by Coelho in Toronto to break it. Far side touchline, Chisholm. He'll make a cross in. Gonzalo Luan thwarts it away, and a corner for Toronto. Folks, all corners on your Inter Miami Radio Network are brought to you by Lytle Rider Smith, Ivy, and Frauenrath. Visit foryourrights.com. Lytle Rider Smith, Ivy, and Frauenrath have been serving injured families in South Florida for over 40 years. Visit foryourrights.com. Coelho will take a right foot in swinger. Cross in and immediately thwarted away by Facundo Mora and Inter Miami. Welcome to the 86th minute. Our Herons on top 4-1. Lionel Messi on the ball. He'll switch his fields to Plambic. Plambic will play it to Aishala. Aishala right at midfield gets taken to ground and no whistle, but Inter Miami's still on it. DePaul now has it on the far side touchline. DePaul plays Pinter. Pinter on the far side touchline will look for a streaking Rodrigo DePaul. DePaul gets there in the box. Rodrigo's still on it, and he wins a corner. Presented by Lytle Rider Smith, Ivy, and Frauenrath. All corners on your Inter Miami Radio Network are brought to you by Lytle Rider Smith, Ivy, and Frauenrath. Visit foryourrights.com. Lionel Messi has now recorded 100 contributions, 59 goals, 41 assists in 64 matches. 59 goals, 41 assists in 64 matches. Unbelievable stuff from the GOAT. Going to be a throw-in for Toronto. On it is Chisholm. Chisholm. Big throw. And it lands in our Herons' laps with Aishala. He'll play it to Mikael. Timura, good job winning that ball. It's Inter Miami completely content passing it around, up 3 goals in the 87th minute. 4-1. your goal scorers, DePaul, Suarez, Regulon, and Messi. Emilio, the lone goal scorer for Toronto, and it came off of a David Aishala big-time oopsie. Herman Berterame now on it in Toronto territory near side touchline. He's guarded by Man Louie. Berterame tried playing a pass on and smacked Pinner in the chest. That'll roll back to Toronto's box. Rodrigo DePaul on it with space. He plays on Lionel Messi. Messi tried ball rolling Luka Gavrin. Now going to ground is Pinter, and we have a yellow card, which is going to go against Daniel Pinter. But folks, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification all across our Inter Miami radio network.
Anna Jar and Levine.
Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
ESPN 1063.
WESP Jupiter, a Good Karma Brands radio station.
So Lionel Messi almost had a brace. Rodrigo DePaul played him on with a beautiful pass in the box. Messi received it. He tried ball rolling the keeper, Luka Gavrin, but Gavrin got a paw on it and thwarted it away. Now Toronto on it in a dangerous position. Henry tried crossing it into a plethora of attackers for Toronto, but thwarted away by the center backs in Luan and Mikael. And folks, I said it about 10 minutes ago. I'll say it again. But Luan and Mikael have had great games, as I say that. A goal for Toronto. So we're 30 seconds away from extra time. I call it the announcer's curse. As I was giving flowers to Mikael and Luan, they watched the ball go into the box, and heading it for a brace is Emilio. Car, I am the Maloik, as my Sicilian ancestry would tell you. But it was a good cross by Kobe Franklin, and getting on the end of it was Emilio. As I was trying to give flowers to Luan and Mikael, they surrender a goal in the 89th minute. But they're up 2 still. Granted, I call it a header. That's more of a shoulder. But Emilio with a brace. And it's 4-2. We're awaiting extra time presented by our local South Florida Audi dealer. But that's on me. Hand up in the chat. Hand up in our YouTube chat. That's on your guy. 8 minutes of extra time presented by your local South Florida Audi dealer. Folks, visit AudiUSA.com to learn more. Check out that all-new Audi Q3. Folks, the Audi Q3 is made for the S-Life. We have another fan on the field as, they're looking for Leo. You got the Lionel Messi fan lookers on the field. And I think he is he's evading security. And now they finally get him. But let me get back to our local South Florida Audi dealer, because, folks, that Q3 e-tron is something to believe, and it's made for the S-Life. And you can learn more by visiting your local South Florida Audi dealer or logging on to AudiUSA.com to learn more. That is AudiUSA.com to learn more. But 8 minutes of extra time as the big voice man at BMO Field announces that you will be arrested and thrown in jail if you come onto the field. So those two fans are going to have a long night in a Toronto jail. Now, thankfully, I've never been to a Toronto jail, so I don't know what that's like. I am an American living in South Florida, but folks, I can only assume that it's not a fun time at a Canadian Toronto jail. So do not run out onto the field if you are listening to me in the stands at BMO Field. 4-2, play resumed, and it's going to be a throw-in for our Herons on the far side touchline right outside of Toronto's box. The 2 goals scored for Toronto are from the Subdan striker Emilio. And the 4 goals for our Herons have been a mixture of DePaul, Suarez, Regulon, and the GOAT, Lionel Messi. Mora will take the throw in. Far side touchline. He finds Pinter. Pinter cuts in. Good pass to Regulon. Now near side touchline, Plambic. Plambic will recycle to the defense, which is at midfield, to Mikael. Now Regulon back on. Here's Batarame. Plambic near side touchline. Plambic closed down by Toronto. Aishala out of position after that slide, and on it is Osorio. Here's Etienne Jr. Etienne Jr. in Inter Miami's box. Mora takes him to ground, and no penalty. And I believe Etienne Jr. touched it last. Goal kick. I don't think VAR is going to check it, but Facundo Mora took Etienne Jr. to ground, and we're still waiting on the call. On the field, it was ruled no penalty, and I think it's going to stand. Robin Fraser, gaffer for Toronto, looking for answers. The crowd now has seen it on the big screen. They don't like it. It's a very proud bunch of Toronto fans. Obviously, you got Lionel Messi fans and Inter Miami fans scattered around. But they are now surrounding. Toronto players are now I can't spit it out. Victor Rivas has taken some serious heat from Toronto players. Surrounding. That's the word I was looking for. Sorry. But 94-28, 94-29. I think Rivas and VAR are checking it, as my on-site producer, the always reliable Gary Ibar, thinks that they're going to have to look at the monitor for this. I tend to agree, but as a homer, as the household homer Inter Miami fan, let's get play resumed here, huh? But VAR, for the record, VAR is looking at it. Facundo Mora taking Etienne Jr. to the ground. And that is announced play to be resumed. So it will not be a penalty in the 95th minute. And Dane St. Clair is on it. Now Mikael. Have some vulgarity being chanted from the crowd. They do not like that call. But it's still 4-2 Inter Miami and no penalty kick awarded for Toronto. Now that whole ordeal took about 2 minutes. So it is the 96th minute. I'm assuming we're going to go 2 more minutes past the allotted extra time because of the, quote, time wasting that took place checking the VAR. But Toronto trying to get something going from their defense. So this thing will probably go to the 100th minute, folks. Cutting in is Henry. Henry still on it. Still on it is Henry. He gets it to Osorio, who plays on Henry again. But that pass thwarted away by Inter Miami. Our Herons on their heels a bit here, as it'll be a throw-in on the near side touchline. Walker Zimmerman, actually, no, it's a foul. And it'll be a free kick for Toronto. Coelho takes the free kick. Here is Kobe Franklin. Near side touchline, Henry. Henry crossed into the box. And that one headed away by Mikael. Rodrigo de Paul wants a handball. They're still playing, though. This is Etienne. Etienne in the box. Cross in. Thwarted away by the defense. Now Facundo Mora gets it to Rodrigo de Paul, far side touchline. De Paul finds Messi right at midfield. Leo gets it to De Paul on the far side touch. Back to Messi. Messi to Plambic, near side touchline. Plambic cutting into the box. Right outside of Toronto's box is Plambic. He gets closed down, and he'll go back to Regulon. Regulon and Plambic. Now to Bertarame. Bertarame Ball roll, still on it is Birdie. Birdie in a dangerous position, cross in, and it stays in bounds, so on it is Daniel Pinter. Good deflection by Chisholm. Plambic gets it to Pinter. Pinter right outside of the box, taking the ground, no whistle. DePaul on it, though. DePaul gets it to Mura. Mura cross into the box, looking for Messi. Thwarted away by Walker Zimmerman. Now on it is Chisholm. 98th minute. 4-2, Inter Miami on top. 8 minutes of extra time. Add 2 because of the VAR check on the possible penalty for Toronto. But 98-24, I think we're going to go to 100. Messi on it in the box. Ball on a string. He finds Berterame. Now DePaul. DePaul to Messi, and Leo unable to get his head on it. Luka Gavrin playing it quickly out of his box. Now Gavrin will reset, and he'll attempt to boot this away. 98-48, 98-49. 8 minutes of extra time. I'll continue to say we're probably going to go to 100 because of the VAR check. Now 99th minute. Toronto back on it. Osorio loses possession. On it for our Herons is DePaul. Far side touchline, he plays on Mura. Mura inching closer to midfield. He tries to get it to Messi right at the center circle, and a bad interception. On it is Henry. Henry looking for Coelho. And winning that ball is Pinter. 99-25, 99-26. Playing to 100. Inter Miami up 4-2. Regulon to Messi. 2-man-2 ball. Now Plambic near side touchline. Plambic gets it to DePaul. DePaul goes to ground and a foul. That one going against ETN. Or actually, rather, I'm at your mercy, folks. I don't know what happened there. As Toronto now dangerous spot header. Walker Zimmerman goes over St. Clair's box. They stop play. DePaul was on the ground, and then Toronto ends up with it off of a free kick, apparently. But, folks, that's the final whistle. Inter Miami winners in Toronto. 4-2. The goal scorers, DePaul, Suarez, Regulon, and Messi. As far as Toronto, Emilio was on a brace. Inter Miami has won 6 straight on the road. And they win this one once again, 4-2. Let's take a timeout. When we come back, we'll wrap things up. We'll play all the goal-scoring highlights for our Herons. Once again, 4 goals for Inter Miami. They win 4-2 in Toronto, and their 6th straight road win. The postgame show next on your Inter Miami Radio Network.
For 40 years, Lytle, Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fraunrath has stood up for clients in South Florida communities. If you've been injured, their experienced attorneys across South Florida are ready to fight for your rights. They've recovered billions for their clients. There's no cost for a case evaluation and no fee unless they win. Visit foryourrights.com. That's foryourrights.com. Lytle, Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fraunrath, proud supporters of Inter Miami FC on ESPN South Florida. Main office in Palm Beach Gardens.
Overheard at the Hard Rock Bet Party.
Hey, Irv, you watching the game?
Watching? I'm all over these live bets on the Hard Rock Bet app right now. Brother, I'm in the game. That's a quick winner. Si se puede, si se puede, si se
Live
puede.
betting on Hard Rock Bet makes any game worth celebrating.
Si se.
Download the Hard Rock Bet app and start live betting today. Hard Rock Bet. Roll with us.
Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about your gambling? Call or text 1-833-PLAY-WISE.
Picture this: a curve in the road, a change in plans. Well, what do you say? With the all-new Audi Q3, the answer's always yes. Yes to adventure. Yes to escape. Yes to performance. Yes to comfort. Yes to right now. Because saying yes without hesitation, that's real luxury. The all-new Audi Q3, made for the yes life.
If you want to learn how to fan the football way, ask the fans with a Modelo. Only they know how to celebrate with strangers, as if they were lifelong friends. To lose their voice for weeks after chanting for 90 minutes. They are always ready to teach you the ways of football, because to them, passion is meant to be shared. So go ahead, ask the fans with a Modelo.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer, providing equal employment, development, and advancement opportunities to all teammates and applicants. To learn more about careers with us, please send an email to talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com. That's talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com.
Did you miss Theoretically Speaking? Y'all tell me if this is stolen valor or not, but my wife was out of town this weekend. I emceed the Mayor's Gala. They had all of these beautiful floral centerpieces. When we wrap up the event and it's time to go, they're like, if y'all want to take some of these bouquets, go right ahead. The one I picked was so big, when I was carrying it to the car, I had to look around it. And then I set it up at home, and when she came back, husband of the year.
Shay bought it. Well, now there's cats out of the bag.
No, I did.
It's Theoretically Speaking, weekdays at 2 here on ESPN 106.3.
The pink smoke is in the air. This is the Inter Miami postgame show. Here's Mike Rizzo.
Final score 4-2. Our Inter Miami Herons extend their road winning streak to 6 games. And something my on-site producer Gary Ibar pointed out, that the longest road winning streak in a single season is 7 consecutive. So San Diego FC did it last year in 2025, FC Cincinnati in 2024, and CF Montreal did it in 2022. So if Inter Miami wins one more on the road, their next road game, which give me a second to check up on which that is. But regardless, Inter Miami right now with 6 straight road wins. That is no easy thing to do. And with a win of 4-2 today with 4 different goal scorers is certainly something to remember. Now, Inter Miami's next road game and next game will be FC Cincinnati. Once again, Inter Miami's next game is FC Cincinnati, and it's on the road. If they win that game, that'll be 7 consecutive. It'll tie the MLS record. And after that, how about this, folks? We'd have to wait until July 25th to figure out if they're going to break that record, because the last game before the international break is May 24th, and it's a home game. So May 13th is the final road game until July 25th. So if Inter Miami wins against Cincinnati, that'll be 7 in a row. It'll tie the record. If they win that, they'll have to wait until July 25th when they're on the road at Montreal, because the next 3 games after that, Portland, Philly, and Chicago, all at New Bank Stadium. But let's focus on the task at hand for now. Inter Miami winners 4-2 today. My guy, Tomas, back at the City Play Studios in downtown West Palm Beach, Tomas Horcada. He has all of the goal scoring highlights. Now, I hope I didn't botch his last name too bad, and I hope he forgives me. But let's go and listen to Rodrigo De Paul in the 44th minute, opening up the scoring. All right. Rodrigo De Paul takes it on instead of Messi. De Paul deflected by the wall, and a deflection goal! Rodrigo De Paul in the 43rd minute! That is one of the more unique goals you will see. De Paul took on the free kick. Folks, I've been calling the games for a year and a half for our Inter Miami Herons. I can't remember the last time Lionel Messi did not take on a free kick. He gave it to De Paul. De Paul hit the wall. It deflected right back to him. He put a shot on, and folks, it deflected right off of the bar and right into Luka Gavrin's net. So 1-0, Inter Miami on top in the first half. The bar, the best friend of Rodrigo De Paul. Once again, so beautifully explained by myself, hit the wall, back to De Paul. De Paul put a shot on, went off bar, and in the net. In the 56th minute, though, Luis Suarez made it 2-0. To Messi, Suarez, dangerous spot in the box, shot at a goal! Luis Suarez, goal, 55th minute, assisted by Lionel Messi. Toronto wanted offsides. I don't think they're going to get one. Luis Suarez did a great job of waiting to receive the ball. 55th minute goal for Luis Suarez. Him and Messi finally linking up and on the right wavelength. But Luis Suarez, who has been dynamite since he's won that starting, and Suarez winning that starting striker position has really made every start count. He got subbed off later on in the match, but Luis Suarez with a goal making it 2-0. Sergio Reguilon, folks, 72nd minute. Sergio subbed on in the 68th minute for Noah Allen, and Reguilon scoring his first goal as an Inter Miami Heron. He's looking for Sergio Reguilon, who wins it off of Kobe Franklin. Now Lionel Messi, back to Reguilon. Reguilon shot, goal! Sergio Reguilon, who just checked in the 68th minute, makes it 3-0. Good pass by Messi. Right foot shot, Reguilon. That is Sergio's first goal in Inter Miami pink. And Reguilon, who's been battling injury all year long, able to find the back of the net. A good job by Reguilon, taking the ball off of Kobe Franklin's boot. He got it to Messi. Messi got him in a dangerous spot, and he goes cross keep right across Luka Gavrin's face. 3-0. So 3-0, Inter Miami leading. They weren't done, because in the 75th minute, Lionel Messi made it 2 assists and this goal. Base. Leo still on it. Lays it up to DePaul. DePaul back to Messi. Shot. Goal! Goal! Lionel Messi from Rodrigo DePaul. Folks, it's 4-0. Inter Miami running away at BMO Field. Lionel Messi with a goal and 2 assists. Luka Gavrin looking for answers. He's not going to find it in his water bottle because it's 4-0 Inter Miami. So Lionel Messi making it a goal and 2 assists on the game. Now, I will say Emilio subbed on for Toronto. He subbed off DeAndre Kerr, and Emilio subbed on and had 2 goals in the 82nd minute because of a David Aishala oopsie. And then in the 90th minute, he had a header goal, but Inter Miami able to win 4-2, and they make it 6 straight road wins. They are 1 road win away from tying the MLS record of most consecutive games won on the road. Folks, the next time we'll talk to you on our Inter Miami radio network, obviously, will be this Wednesday with Pink Smoke, my Inter Miami show, 6 to 7 on Wednesdays on ESPN 106.3. But the next time we'll be live with the game, we will be at Cincinnati. It is Inter Miami at FC Cincinnati TQL Stadium. So stay tuned for all that. A lot of thank yous to get across before we wrap our Inter Miami radio network up. Thank you to my on-site producer and lead spotter, Gary Ibar. Thank you to Tomas Toto Horikata back at the City Place Studios in downtown West Palm Beach. And thank you to our Inter Miami team for us being over the airwaves today at BMO Field. Final score 4-2. We'll catch up with you on Pink Smoke on Wednesday on ESPN 106.3 from 6 to 7. And we'll catch up with you at TQL Stadium in Cincinnati next Saturday. We'll see everyone later. Enjoy your weekend. Goodbye.
Overheard at the Hard Rock Bet Party.
Hey, Michael Irvin, another promo just dropped on Hard Rock Bet. I got a profit boost this morning. Whoa, and a huge bonus bet just hit my account. Is the app on fire like this every week?
Only on days that end in Y. Like today, yesterday, all day, every.
The Hard Rock Bet app and start playing today. Hard Rock Bet. Roll with us.
Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about your gambling?